I like how it mutes me right after I hit the record button. All right, everybody, welcome to the Safe Haven AMA. Today we have a guest with us, the dev from Blockombat. He is here to discuss and answer any questions about his project. Dev Dan, take it away, man.
Feeling good. All right, guys. My name is Dan. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Blockombat. So I'm just going to start us off here with what this project really is. So Blockombat is a play-to-earn 3D multi-chain GameFi ecosystem with NFT rewards with the aim of revolutionizing the GameFi industry and further driving the adoption of crypto and play-to-earn in the gaming industry itself. In particular, what sparked our vision was how centralized perhaps play-to-earn tournaments are. So those that are making a wage from video games full-time, the platform streaming them could have to be centralized. So, for instance, you have tournaments. The tournaments themselves, the organizations that run them, pick the best of the best, kind of leaving out, maybe your average players, just trying to make a name for themselves. So, our idea here is basically give the gamers a voice, give more gamers the ability to make money in this realm. And no better way to do that with DeFi. So just kind of moving on to what our game is all about, the mechanisms behind that. So obviously the Blockombat token, BKB, is going to fuel the ecosystem. Within the game, there are going to be a few different stores. So there's going to be an arena store, character store, skill store, and weapon store. With the BKB token, you'll be able to obviously purchase different criteria in those stores. Obviously, everybody's here to make money, and so here is our solution to people making a name for themselves in the gaming industry. Starts with us, we believe. So we have a few modes here. We have solo mode. So with solo mode, users will be able to just battle AIs and be rewarded BKB tokens if they were to win. Our dual mode is probably going to be the second most popular mode. This is where you're going to 1v1 users online. Both users would come to an agreement as far as prize pool goes, winner takes all. So if the combatants decide that they want to have 20,000 in the pool, 10,000 each side, winner takes that 20,000. What we believe is going to be our biggest and most popular mode is the tournament mode. So here with the BKB token, you would stake. Our minimum here is $100 worth of the BKB token to give yourself access to the tournament pool. So again, we're kind of decentralizing that a bit. In many major gaming tournaments throughout the world, they're centralized. You got to be good enough to get there. We are taking out that middleman. We want everyone to be able to get there, everyone to have the opportunity to make money. So you would stake. That would give you the opportunity to get into this tournament. And within that tournament, you can work your way up. The more you win, the more you earn. So just kind of like going into the economics in and of itself. So there's a fee, a transaction fee associated with the coin. It's 5%. So that 5% is allocated in this way. 1% of the fee goes towards rewards. So just for holding the token, you'll get passive rewards. 2% will go towards liquidity. So this will help to keep the token afloat. And the last 2% for marketing, so we can keep this driving even after we list. And just kind of go. Oh, go ahead.
No, go right ahead, Dev.
Yeah, no worries. I was just kind of getting into market expansion because obviously we're very fresh, we're very new, and with time we'd like to develop this in a way that we can even bring it to major gaming systems. So we're thinking PlayStation, we're thinking Xbox, and we're even thinking most commonly nowadays PC. But the graphics are going to have to catch up. So as we develop. That's our primary. We want to make it look better. We want to make it run better, and we want to be right up there with our competitors. I'll let you go ahead and ask anything that you might be
No.
of help to the community or.
Well, how big is your team, and what are your roles?
I would say our team is about 10 plus at this moment. Everybody has a little bit of a different role. My role primarily was the vision illustration. I would consider myself an artist, so a lot of the the artwork that you're seeing on the project now kind of comes from my end. We have other members such as Gaura. He's good on the back end things such as code, so coding for the game. That code allows the game to look the way obviously it does. He specializes in that. We have another co-founder, Vic, who is just a specialized. Obviously, I have background knowledge in that, but when it comes down to it, I want to make sure that the best guy does the best job. So we kind of just plan this out as we go, and yeah, it's collaborative efforts though. Nothing's ever done solely by themselves. We all pitch in on it, and obviously the best might take the helm, kind of lead that.
I understand that. Tell me, how long have you guys been in the crypto space, and what made you guys want to launch a play-to-earn game?
Yeah, we've been in the crypto space for a few years, just kind of as retail investors. We've invested in different projects before, and we're invested in those mainstream coins out there. But as far as some of the projects we invested in, they've fallen apart. They haven't delivered on their promises, and so we kind of turn around and said, well, we can do this, and we can do it better. We can fulfill the promises that we initially make, and we want something to be long term. You're kind of coming in and seeing a lot of these projects come out, and they sound great, they look great, and they promise a lot, and then within a month or two, they're completely gone. And I'm sure they go into the background, they wait a bit, they come back out with something completely else with different personas. We do not like that. We're sick of this ingenuineness in the space. We want to be honest, forefront, and we want to give something to the people that matters and lasts.
Good answer. What engine is the game running on? Is this on Unreal Engine?
I'm going to take away because as far as running on engines and background code, my co-founder Gaurel is very knowledgeable on that aspect. So I'm going to give him this question.
Yeah, go for it, Gaura.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Nice to meet you, everyone.
You're a little quiet, Gaura. You're a little quiet, buddy.
Oh, really? I've been having a little hard time with my microphone. But I got it fixed. I don't know if you can hear me clearly.
I can hear you a little better.
Okay. All right. Actually, we use Unity for the game. But Unity is the main game engine we're using to, do the main mobile coding of the game. Yeah, Android and iOS. Yeah, we use Unity.
Okay. I mean, what inspired? Are you guys fighting game fans? Was this something? You guys just were like, man, I want to make a fighting game.
I would say kind of general consensus. We collectively grew up playing games like Mortal Kombat, and even there's other games out there like DC Universe that kind of use the same mechanics, but it's superhero themed. That was kind of the motivation here. We kind of wanted to bring some of that nostalgia back and mix it into the niche market, decentralized finance. We thought it'd be an interesting take on play to earn.
Mm-hmm. How exactly do you earn when you play? Like, do you how do you learn when you play?
So I'll break it down via modes because there's those 3 modes: the solo, the duel, and the tournament. So the solo is going to be very at a very basic level. You'll be earning 10 BKB tokens for each win you make during solo. Obviously, the rewards aren't as high with solo because you're playing a bot. You might be able to pick up on the bot's tendencies, things of that nature. As far as duel and tournament goes, where you're actually playing real people, other online users, that's where the majority of the money is going to make. So if you can become good enough at the game, that's where you're going to make your bread, essentially. You obviously will earn those 1% rewards just by holding BKB, so it has that passive income to it. So obviously, the more the better. 1%, may seem like a small number, but over time, that's compound interest. And if you mix that with playing the game and beating other users, you can make quite a good amount of profit. With what I find really interesting with the duel concept is you can set the amount that you want to wager. So if you want to wager 50,000 tokens and someone else is willing to agree to that amount, the winner will win 50,000 BKB tokens. You can quite literally make as much as you want to make, such as willing that the person you're facing is also willing to take that risk.
I was wondering if you would earn more tokens by playing like against people versus just the bot. Otherwise, yeah, like you said, people just learn the tendencies of the bot, and, just farm all day.
Exactly.
Right on.
And that's like, when people are going to be playing the bots, that's probably going to be best to learn the game's mechanics, learn how to play first before going ahead and fighting other people. So, it's kind of more so we are foreseeing it as like almost training experience to prepare yourselves for the real thing.
Yeah, no, I get that totally. Yeah, for sure. Now you guys mentioned like tournaments, and you thought that would bring like the most exposure, this or that. Are these like online tournaments that you guys are going to play like on the platform, or like in real life, like like Combo Breaker and Evo and things like that?
So both. So like as far as like online, like the online tournaments in general, you're gonna see that much sooner rather than later. Like you'll be at your house, the person will be at their house, be on your own time. You stake $100 worth of BKB. That's like your ticket into the tournament. Gives you opportunity, to battle others, to work your way up the chain and make cash. But in the long term of things, we want this to grow to such an extent that the game itself is recognized and joins the realm, of professional gaming. And again, a lot of professional gaming out there, professional gaming tournaments are very centralized. Is there a way that we can decentralize professional gaming entirely? And, we think that, it starts with a game like this. So we want these tournaments to hit global, and for it, in the future to be a more, memorable experience. We'd like to have these tournaments in person, so it'd be online still, but mixing it in with that, that rivalry that the guy that you're facing is sitting at a table across from you.
Okay. When do you guys launch, and will there be a pre-sale?
So tomorrow is our fair launch date. I believe there was a pre-sale going on. Gauro, are you there?
Hello?
Hi. So fair launch date tomorrow on Pink Sale.
Hello?
Hey,
Hello?
Gauro,
Yeah, I'm here, but I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. We're gonna be having our fair launch tomorrow by 11:15 UTC. Yeah, on Pink Sale. Yeah, so that's when the
How much are
sales
you guys
gonna
trying to
hold.
raise?
Yeah, because it's a fair launch, we have a soft cap of 100 BNB. But it could go up to 2,000 or 3,000, depends on the number of contributions that we get along as we have the sales.
Okay. You said the soft cap is 100 BNB?
Yeah.
Okay. And will the game be ready when you guys launch?
Yes, the game is ready.
Oh, great.
The game is fully ready. At least the version 1 is ready.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to talk about a little bit about it. The game itself. Like right now we have a solo mode, we have the duel mode and the tournament ready. But you can even play right away, at this moment. But you can in at this moment. But we're gonna activate the play to earn at the launch. Yeah, so at the launch you'll be able to play to earn with the computer, or you play against the computer, and if you win, you get some coins, and life. Yeah, so at launch the game will be ready.
Okay, good. That's good to hear. What will be the tokenomics of the coin?
All right. The tokenomics. Actually, we did some the tokenomics. Initially, what we had is a bit different from what we ended up with. So just give me a second so I can get to the proper details of the tokenomics.
Yeah, initially upon conception, we kind of schemed, a few different blueprints of what we thought would work best, and ultimately, came to our decision on that. So that's what he's scouting for now.
All right. Okay. For the sales, we are pushing about approximately a 22% for sales and for marketing. We had about 7%. And for rewards, because it's a play to earn system, and we're going to also have things like NFT stakings and single staking, LP stakings, and all that reward system in the ecosystem. So we decided to make 54% for rewards. Team takes 10%, which is locked. 7% goes to development, and 1% goes to liquidity.
Okay. I mean, what are going to be the taxes in and out, like buy and sell tax?
Okay, it's pretty the same buy and sell. The buy tax is 5%, just like he described earlier. 1% goes to the holders of the token. 2% goes to the liquidity. 2% goes for marketing, to the marketing wallet.
Okay, good deal. Now, to play the game, do you have to hold a certain amount of tokens, or are you just able to jump in with the fee?
No, you don't have to hold any token to start the game initially, but you will need some tokens to boost your game, like purchase some characters that are not available to you on free mode, purchase some ammos, buy, skills and all that, just to, get more advantage over your opponent. Yeah, so you will need tokens for transactions within your ecosystem, within the game, but to play initially is free.
Okay, so will a other player have an advantage over another if they spend more money on the cosmetics?
Of course.
Oh, okay.
I can't spend the $500 and expect me to still be like the other player that bought anything.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
This is kind of bringing some of the, the pay to win concept that you see quite constantly this throughout games in general. I can use the simplest comparison for that. Let's just use Madden. So NFL football, you'll see there's a game mode called Ultimate Team. Ultimate Team, you go ahead, you purchase cards. So different players with different attributes. the more of these good cards you buy, the better your team is overall, and you stand a better chance against another team who maybe did not spend as much on their team. The only difference there is that with a game like Madden, when you pay to build up your team like that, the inability to join professional gaming tournaments essentially keeps you at a net loss. You spent this money on this team to win games, but it doesn't take you anywhere. And with us, you'll be spend money on your characters, build yourself up at the same time. Pay as you're paying to win, you're paying to earn. So it's going to give a little. You might be given a little, but the ability to earn a whole lot more back is what our vision is here.
No, I get that. I will say though, like, I mean, will you guys have any sort of like pairing system? So, like, let's say I'm level 100, but then I get paired against a guy who is level 1, and he just left the single player mode to play me for the first time, and I've spent $1,000 on my character. He has zero chance. And if we're talking about playing to earn and winning currency, like the guy who, level 100, dropping bags to beef up his character, he's going to win every time. So will there be any system that pairs players together about the same skill set, or at least maybe the same level?
Yes.
That has to do with the tournament. Also, I would like to pinpoint before I answer that totally. I would like to pinpoint that the fact that you bought a lot of armors, a lot of skills for your character is not a guarantee that you must win the fight. It still depends on who is playing. If the player is very skilled and his combinations of his moves, there's still a possibility that even with the low strength, the low energy, if he hits you more than you can hit him, then he might win. So the purchase of armors and skills and build up of the character only gives you the better chance to win, but it's not a guarantee. Okay, so on the tournament system, it's gonna be a random pairing. Let's say 1,000 person comes into the tournament. It could pair anybody with anybody. You understand? So it doesn't matter how much or what level you played or your character is at the tournament. It's gonna pair everybody, randomly. So I could play with you now and play with the other person the next second. That's how it goes.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I just wanted to make sure because, yeah, man, like when it comes to pay to win, yeah, some games can like really it's difficult to balance that, so all players can play fairly. So let me ask then, are you guys ever going to expand out to Twitch, or I didn't see if you had a Twitch page or a Discord page or anything like that?
I would say that yes, we would like to. It's going to give the project more exposure. I think something we do foresee, paid sponsorships, and this would kind of work in a way with marketing. So there would be paid sponsors playing the game. So our vision for individuals to kind of join this professional gaming space through us, they would play this game, live streaming their battles, their tournaments, things of that nature. And someone with a decent following would definitely gain us more exposure and lead more gamers to our platform. So yeah, Twitch is certainly something that we would like to participate in, and it would be kind of through we would be starting with very, very popular streamers. That's our vision. We'd also like this to hit other platforms. A lot of times when you go on YouTube, for instance, and you're watching gameplay, those were live streams from Twitch. Those were recorded from Twitch and brought over. So I guess gamers with big followings, they kind of double down on their viewer revenue from those two different platforms. So if we can utilize these paid sponsorships, we can kind of be cross networking to two different streaming sites, and obviously more exposure, more money into the ecosystem, warrants us, the ability to continue to develop this game and get to where we want it to be. So we have a lot of plans.
It sounds like you guys are continuing to build, and like you said, you need the graphics to catch up. So, I mean, I guess as you guys move along, that could be a plan in the future as well. Okay, let's move on. Since we hit that half-hour mark, let's move on to some community questions. This one is from Dreamer. Actually, I don't know if you guys answer this or not, but will the game be compatible on Android device or iOS, or is it just a PC game for now?
Both, actually. It'll be compatible on both iOS and Apple. So either which smartphone you have, you'll be good. So you can play somebody, and it's not going to pair you up. Let's say you have an Android with somebody else that has an Android. It'll be kind of cross-play between phones, and obviously in the future, when we plan to get it onto systems and PC, it'll be cross-play between everyone. Obviously, you can argue that somebody on a game system or PC might have slight of an advantage to somebody using phone. So that's something that we're going to be mindful of when we do kind of expand the crossplay. But for right now, phones primarily through the app.
Okay, good answer. This one is actually a pretty good question, but it might be a little technical. Crypto Seaboy. He wants to know, he said, I know the winning token will be the main coin. How will you deal when players start taking profits? Because he says in previous P2E games, projects tend to die when the players start taking profits. How do you intend to solve this problem?
So,
Um,
go ahead,
right.
Gauro.
All right, I would like to comment on this one. Because there are fees in the ecosystem. The fees, this is one of the reasons why we introduce fees. Because there is going to be some liquidation going on in the market as players are playing and earning. So the fees that we generate from trades goes back into the ecosystem, goes back to the liquidity. So there will be constant liquidity and trades are going up with buy and sell. So that will also help to revive it. Also, from time to time, we're going to schedule some buybacks because we have NFTs to launch, and each NFT we launch, about 50% of the rate go back to the system for buyback. So the system is just going to be revolving. The money is going to be revolving around the system, and we think that it's going to make it to be stable.
Okay. So you mentioned NFTs. How much will an NFT cost?
At the moment, we plan to launch the NFTs in Solana. We are looking at from 0.5 SOL to 1 SOL for each NFT. We're going to launch 4,000 NFTs on each for each NFT app. So we're gonna have like 5 to 6 NFT apps. Yeah.
Okay. No, fair enough. Yeah, I was just wondering. So will the NFTs actually, will there be fighters that you can include in the game? Will you be able to like use them, or is it just like NFT only, just like picture?
Yeah, the NFTs are actually images of the characters. Like for example, if you check my DP is having Goreb. That's the NFT for Goreb. We're gonna launch, and that'll be the first one we're gonna launch. Yeah, so we're gonna have the NFTs come from the characters.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Let me see here. A lot of these questions were kind of already answered, guys. I'm just trying to sift through the ones that we have here. Someone said crossplay. You guys, will there be crossplay?
Certainly that's in the plans. So obviously right now we're on the phones,
Yeah.
but we want to bring this to gaming systems and PC. So your main game systems at the moment are Xbox, Sony's PlayStation, and PC. In the future, we'd like to see this on all three of those.
Of course.
our one worry, obviously, then is, well, how do we, keep it fair when somebody on the game system with a controller pairs against somebody on the phone, which then likely solution is with a matchmaking system. If you're on the phone, it would only pair you with somebody on the phone, and if you're on a game system or PC, it would cross play you guys between each other. So that's likely the most simplest solution to keep it fair when we get to that point. But yes, that is on the horizon.
Yeah, I think it's actually pretty difficult to pull off, but because even like major game companies right now, they have difficulties doing crossplay sometimes. But sure, it's definitely something to add into your feather into your hat. Jay has a pretty good question. Let me see here. Will there be any sort of story attached to your game, like as say for your single player experience?
That's a good question. Certainly, they can be. If we just want to utilize Mortal Kombat as a perfect example here. In Mortal Kombat, you were able to, pick a certain character. Let's see, Liu Kang, a very popular Mortal Kombat character. You pick him to play, and it carries you through a story, his Liu Kang story. So that's something that, very feasible that we have thought about, like creating story modes for individual characters, so it can kind of personalize you with the character a little bit more. Maybe help teach you a thing or two about their origins, and their personalities and things like that. And you'll come to find that a lot of people, their favorite characters, they're their favorite characters because they have something in common. They see something in themselves that they see in these characters. So we would like to bring that experience to users for sure.
All right, fair enough. And I do get word here that we have a Wild Achilles here in the chat. Is that right?
Hey, guys.
Hey.
How's everyone doing? How are you, Dev Dan?
We're doing great. How about you?
Good, man. I've been quietly listening here. All right, so I guess we're on to our wonderful VC questions. Who in the VC has a question for the team?
Okay.
I do have a question for the team.
Go ahead, Ojo.
Okay. Actually, I've been listening to most of the things they've been saying since, so I would like to ask my first question. Probably we have just one question to ask. So my question is this: what exactly brought about the whole concept of block combat?
What brought about this concept? We kind of, just kind of backtrack a little bit here. We had our vision. We wanted to figure out a way in which we can kind of decentralize professional gaming, give your everyday gamer a chance to make money playing video games, doing the thing that they love, and we mixed that with one of our favorite styles of gaming, that 1v1 combat. So that's kind of the origin of how this all happened. And I definitely think that Defy in and of itself makes this vision all that much more of a reality.
Ojo, did that answer the question, buddy?
Hello?
It does.
Oh.
All right, awesome. I guess next we have Mr. Newt here. Mr. Newt, go ahead. Oh, was that Critical Mindset? Hello.
Yes, I got a couple of questions for the team. And
Please,
the first one is, like you all know, for the game to be fair to all, I don't know, will there be a separate arena for the newbies apart from the pro players to give the game a competitive or a traction between those who are going new into the game and those who have already been in the game for a long time, like pairing the newbie against the newbie and pairing the pro players against the pro players? I don't know if you have this setting in place.
Yeah. So ultimately, yeah, I understand what you're saying. Ultimately, when it comes down to many video games online that you play, there is going to be some sort of skill based skill-based matchmaking set in stone to keep it as fair as possible. And at times, you're going to find you're going to be paired up against players that have an advantage just naturally, because sometimes even though you're getting paired against somebody that's close to the same mechanics, same level as you, that little edge that they have might just be enough to hedge you. So as far as your duel mode goes, you're going to get paired with somebody, and it has to be a mutual decision to play this person, for instance. So if you get paired against somebody that you feel has an incredible advantage against, it would be your choice, first off, and most importantly, whether or not you want to actually
Hello?
challenge them. You might
Hello?
feel that they have too much of an advantage to partake in that battle, so you might pass on that and look for another. But we're going to try to get everybody matched fairly right off the bat, and not leave it too far out there. Where things can get a little bit convoluted is the tournaments. And for the tournaments, those are your bigger prize pools. That's something that I would advise users heading into them or prior to them to make sure that you really are well equipped going into that. That's very high stakes. You're going to see a lot of players that, they're best equipped because they want that money just as much as you do. So that'd be something to be more weary of. Your duel to duel would be probably the fairest, with the tournament, being fair on the contingency that you are well prepared heading into that, knowing what is at stake. If that makes sense and answers your question.
It does. And the second question is, like we all know, for every project or any gaming project, at the beginning of the project, there is this positive pleasure that the gamers get, and they feel they are happy, and at times goes on, they tend to become boring and tired of the game. I don't know if you have any plan of introducing or integrating a storyline that will give your players and holders a new experience, different from the gaming they are already used to, like bringing a different storyline of game into the
I don't
gaming
understand.
platform in the future.
Certainly. I definitely get what you're saying there. When you start playing a game, first and foremost, it has this novelty to it. It's very new. It's very exciting. And after a while, this same old can get a bit boring and draw away players. So definitely, creating story mode, individual story modes for individual characters is a way in which we can keep the game fresh, providing new characters, new weaponry, new settings, and with those characters, new characters, obviously, new stories is certainly a way in which we can do that. In addition to that, eventually we want these graphics to be outstanding and competitive with other fighting games out there on the market. So that will also create a much more, I guess you could say, real life feel to it. To keep the eyes fresh and the users entertained and invested in the game. Because again, when it comes down to video games in general, you want to keep your users invested, and that's what we plan to do. So what we put out, as of tomorrow, officially as users start to get embedded within the ecosystem itself, it's going to look very different moving into the future in a very good way. So we will not, be in the same place. We're going to continue moving forward and continue to, get better, look better, and, keep the people happy.
That's cool. And my last question, please, to spicy
I
up
think
the
just as
game.
we have time, you're good. Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
Last question, please. Can I go ahead? Last question, please.
You may.
Okay. To spicy up the game, make it more attractive. I don't know. I'm going to introduce an in-game leaderboard incentive for your players, holders that are more consistent with the game, and they have more wins than others, like giving them some sort of reward for being active in the game.
I certainly understand what you're saying. So, like additional incentives on top of the passive rewards and the income that you can earn by beating other people.
Leaderboard incentive, in-game leaderboard.
Critical mindset. I think the vibration from your phone's getting a little involved with it too, buddy. You mind muting yourself when you're not speaking? There we go. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Achilles.
No problem.
I certainly understand what you're saying. Like incentives on top of everything that's already in place, and yeah, that's very feasible. It is something that we have thought about. You'll find in some games things such as milestones or goals, even. So hitting these milestones or goals can contribute to additional BKB rewards. Challenges, for instance. So at the beginning of a week, setting a challenge. So as you were mentioning leaderboards, a challenge for this week might be to get X amount of wins and Y amount of losses, for instance. Or it can even, just in general, the best 3 records of the week get the reward. First place, second place, third place prizes with BKB attached to it. So yeah, and that'll be an additional way to keep users invested and entertained. It'll almost be like a game within a game. You're battling people at the same time. You're working towards those challenges, those goals for extra BKB. So yes.
Great, man. I hope that answered the question. And sorry, buddy, I put you on mute just because the vibration was coming through the mic.
I have a question, Achilles.
Mr. James, go ahead, my man.
All right, thank you very much. And that was your trip back.
Thank you very much. All well.
Okay, my question is concerning the solo mode. The developer said that there won't be a need to hold BKB token, but for every win, there will be 10 BKB token as a prize. Now, my question is, if people rate the solo mode much more and they keep winning 10 BKB every now and then, how do they want to sustain the project itself, since people are just aping 10 BKB every time they win the game?
Well, I'll tell you this. So, there's quite a bit amount of tokens. I believe the number was 1 billion, correct, Gauriel?
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, there's a total of 1 billion tokens. So if you're awarded 10 tokens per solo win, you would have to win throughout a day, for instance, 200 games just to win 200 tokens. You could very well easily buy 200 tokens for a very inexpensive amount of money. So like, while those, you can be rewarded 10 BKB for winning, it's not going to be a sizable enough amount to bleed the project dry via farming. So that's the good thing about it. And the solo mode primarily is to allow users to learn how to play the game and perhaps even test drive the new weaponry or characters or even settings that they have bought with their BKB. So that solo mode is primarily just to help you to get situated. But we do throw
Okay.
a little word in there.
I would like to add a little bit to that question. I think your worry is it not going to dump the price if a lot of persons are earning and earning? I think I answered this question earlier on. What happened is this: we have a 2% fee and a 1% fee. Okay, let's say we have a 2% fee going to marketing, and we have a 2% fee going to liquidity. Within the game, there are fees for withdrawing. These fees that we collect go back into the reward system. Some of the fees we collect go back into the liquidity for buyback. So we have a mechanism that regulates that in such a way that as money go out of the system, money is also coming back into the system. So it doesn't ever wear out. So the earnings coming out from the play to earn will not be able to oversee the funds that we are injecting back into the system. And secondly, there's a limited amount of times each player can play every day. I think at the moment we set it at 20 times. You can play more than 20 times for solo mode. Yeah, but if you want to do duel, you can do as many times as you want. But for play to earn with a computer, I think there's a limited number of times you can play in a day. Yeah. So we have that under control.
Okay, thank you very much. And the tournament mode, how many players will be involved in the tournament?
Okay, for the tournament mode, at the moment, our game can accommodate about 1,000 persons who are gonna be paired with 2 persons at a time. So from 1,000, the next round you could drop to 500. For the next round you could drop to 250, just like that, just like that, just like that. So we also there's a wager. There will be a grand prize for the winner. Let's say, for example, the top 100 winners are going to share $10,000. So there's always going to be that grand prize that everybody's trying to win, or something like a very expensive NFT, maybe worth like $5,000 or $10,000. So that's how the tournament system is going to work.
Okay, and lastly, how do you intend to counter game cheats? Those that might want to cheat on the game during the tournament.
Okay, I think you're talking about the skills, the combinations of the moves. Yeah, that's the reason why we have the solo mode, so that you have the time to practice what you want to play.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
If somebody has is more than you, the person is definitely winning. So if you want to win, you have to play the game more. You have to practice more. And the combinations, we do our best to also put out some of the combinations on the website, so that it's going to be easy for users to find how to play and how to make some certain moves. And over time, we're going to add some combos, brutality, and all those kind of stuff to make it more interesting.
I'm just gonna jump on that one too. So obviously, cheating in and of itself is a concept that has existed for a very long time. It's very popular in video games. You would hate to think that somebody has this unfair advantage over you because they hacked the game, did this, that, and the other thing. That's one of the beneficial factors of blockchain, is the game's kind of built around that, so that can kind of service to circumvent some of that going on. But I think that it would be pertinent to look into some type of anti-cheat. You will find that a lot of games out there have an anti-cheat that can pick up on and detect users having some sort of unfair advantage in the game. That would service as like an additional safety net in the event that somebody was trying to cheat their way into huge winnings. We would hate that. That goes against our vision for decentralized gaming in general. And executive action would be taken if somebody were to be found cheating. So we want to keep this fair as we can for everybody.
I hope that answered the question, man. All right, we have time for just one more, guys. One more.
Achilles, can I ask a question?
Amos, you may ask a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the privilege, Achilles.
Amos, you got a lot of feedback on your mic, buddy.
Okay, sorry. So the game is more of a gamble. You stake, and if you see someone of your staking size, you battle against each other. Am I correct?
Less of a gamble if you are well equipping yourself to fight other users. With practice and well equipping yourself, you have just as good a chance to win as anybody else. So if you're going to win money through this facet of playing Blockombat, being better than your opponent is the way to do it. And so while it is a gamble, because you're staking it, putting something on the line for a much bigger return, it can be just as less of a gamble if you're confident in your abilities to get through that tournament and earn those rewards.
Okay. So what happens when, like, assuming I want to stake like $100 now, and I'm not having someone of that amount? So what happens to me? Like, how will I play? How will I combat against each other? Someone else.
Okay. I'll come into that one. When you stake a wager, there will be other users. Possibly most of the time, what happens is within the community. That's why we have a Telegram group. Chat with the user you want to play with. Like, hey guy, come let's play within the community. So you agree on a wager before you even start. You might luckily come into the game and stake a wager and somebody's online. But most of the times you have to come to the community to have an arrangement with a fellow user. Then you guys could go up and play together. That's how it works.
Okay, I understand. So
I'm sorry, buddy. That's going to be the end of questions right there. I hope that answers well enough. Thank you, Amos.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Dev Dan, thank you so much for being here. If you have any final comments, I'm going to end the recording in just a minute. We'll move on to the giveaway and quiz.
I just wanted to, thank you, Achilles, and your team, and your chat here for the time today to allow us to present to you Blockombat, and I'm looking forward to this as we proceed into the next few days, and I'm very excited for you guys to all be a part of the vision that we're trying to instill in the gaming space. So thank you.
I got to say, I was very impressed by the thoroughness of your answers. So thank you for being here. All right, let me end the recording. Oh, Dumbledore has to end the recording. Dumbledore.
Yeah, I can do that. No problem.
My man.
Guys, let's